Hello everyone and welcome to today's IELTS lesson. Um, we are starting in just 1 or 2 minutes here. The stream looks good. Today's not as stormy as yesterday. My name is Adrian and I am broadcasting to you live from beautiful West Coast, British Columbia, which is in Canada, the westernmost province. Before I really get into the lesson, I just want to make sure that all of you can hear me okay and see me okay. Thank you for asking, Monica. My leg is getting better slowly. It's going to be at least another 3-4 weeks in the cast before I can get the cast off, and then a couple months of rehabilitation. And everybody can see it okay, the screen. That's great. All right, awesome. Guys and girls, welcome. Thank you. Today we are doing IELTS listening part 3 and 4. The materials are coming from our website at www.aehelp.com. Hello, everyone joining. Hi, Faizan. Hi, Nonihal, Khan, Farhad, Manushi, and the other 107 students watching this live stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, again, the materials are coming from aehelp.com. That's for academic IELTS. gieltshelp.com. That's for general IELTS. Again, my name is Adrian. On these websites, when you join, you can use the code LIVE20, LIVE20, for a 20% discount. Of course, this lesson is completely free. You can ask me questions, give us comments, and you will have a chance to learn some skills and strategies for the listening section. Yesterday, we looked at listening section 1 and 2. I gave you the example. We listened to the audio. You answered the questions. Many of you did a great job. Today, we are doing part 3 and 4. For those of you who don't know too much about IELTS, IELTS is a progressive test. That means that in the listening and the reading, each consecutive part is more difficult than the previous. What that means is the easiest is listening part 1. Listening part 2 is a bit more difficult. Listening part 3 is more difficult. And usually listening part 4 is the most difficult. Does anybody know how IELTS makes each listening section more difficult? So does anybody know what IELTS actually does to make your listening section more and more difficult? Does anybody know how the IELTS people do this? So what are the test making strategies they use to make the test more and more difficult in each part? Does anybody know? Distractions is a little bit true, Abhishek. Yep, it's a little bit true. You have to be a little bit more patient. Nimra, also, you're right. The speaking in 3 and 4 are often a bit faster and more complicated. So the grammar, what they're using is more complicated. Often there are multiple speakers speaking to each other, so 2 or 3 students. What else? There's more difficult vocabulary, higher level vocabulary, more specific situations. They're not tricking you. These aren't tricks. They're still, these listening parts 3 and 4, Pratim, are not tricks. They're still natural lectures or conversations. Shilpa is absolutely right. Paraphrasing is used to make the questions more difficult. So paraphrasing is used to make questions and dialogue more and more difficult with each part of speaking or listening. Okay, that's true. So paraphrasing is a key part of paraphrasing is a key part of the listening section. It's a key part of IELTS, and you have to practice it at home. You must practice paraphrasing at home to get high IELTS band scores. Now, we have lots of lessons on our website and also on our YouTube channel about paraphrasing. So I've talked a lot about that. And it's really important that you are familiar with the technical aspects of paraphrasing. So there are 5 ways to paraphrase. This is a little bit of a review from previous lessons. So 5 ways to paraphrase. And IELTS will use all of these. One of them is with synonyms. Like, for example, go is the same as leave. Okay. What's another way to paraphrase? So this is just a quick review before I start playing the audio for the listening section. Or in fact, we'll actually look at some paraphrasing before we do that. So synonyms is one way to paraphrase. Okay, Hadil, nice to see you. Some students that follow these lessons regularly know the answers to these. Hadil, I think, is one of them. Hike is maybe another student, so that's great. Yeah, so antonyms with negatives. Antonym plus negative is another way to paraphrase. Like, for example, stay is the same as don't go. So stay is the same as don't leave. Okay, grammar is another one. Somebody mentioned that. That was great. So grammar is definitely used for paraphrasing. For example, we can have a present perfect, like I have not, or let's say something positive, serious. So I have visited Paris. This means I've had the experience of going to Paris. Okay. And then number 4 is expressions. One of you said that. Expressions. So an example for expressions is I ran into my friend at the mall. What does that mean? So what does run into mean? What is the actual verb for run into? Anybody know? Run into is a phrasal verb. It's a type of expression. Idioms are another. Meet randomly, yep, or meet. There's one word for that in English. You can say meet randomly or meet by accident with one word in English. Anybody know what the word is? It's not hug. Starts with an E. That's right, Manushi. Very good. Encounter. And importantly, you should be aware of this, everyone, that most phrasal verbs, so when you're studying your phrasal verbs in English, most of them, if not all of them, will have a perfect verb, single verb. And usually, or in many situations, the one verb that matches the phrasal verb is the higher level vocabulary. So if you want to study advanced vocabulary, then look at the single verb for the verb phrase or the phrasal verbs, such as encounter. So encounter is a higher level vocabulary. Okay, and then the 5th type of paraphrasing, anybody know what the 5th type of paraphrasing is? Vinay, I think if you're having trouble with the voice, it's probably on your end, or it might be the stream. Make sure you're not using anything else, because on my end, it's showing that it's quite healthy. Yeah, that's right, Hadil. So description. So an example here is, it has 2 wheels, and you have to pedal it in order to move. What is it? Anybody know? It has 2 wheels and you have to pedal it in order to move. Anybody know what this means? What has 2 wheels and what do you have to pedal to move? A bike, a bicycle. Cycle is not enough, Monica. You gotta say bicycle, okay? A bicycle or a bike. Yeah, that's right. Okay, guys, so these are the 5 ways to paraphrase: synonym, antonym, negative, grammar, expressions, description. If I want to create an easy question and answer, I will use just one of these paraphrasing skills, like synonyms. If I want to create a more difficult question, I can use 2 of these. For example, I can combine a synonym with an expression or a description. And if I want to make a question in an exam like IELTS even more difficult, I could combine 3 types of paraphrasing. I could combine grammar with an expression with a synonym. So the more complex the paraphrasing, the more of these I put together in one question and answer, the more difficult that question answer becomes. By the way, guys, this is not just for IELTS. This is the same that is used for tests and exams in high school and in university as well, in a lot of your classes. So learning paraphrasing and learning recognizing paraphrasing in English and even in your own language is an extremely useful skill to get high scores on your exams. All right, that's one of the biggest tricks that you can do. Awesome. So let's look at the listening questions now, and let's try to maybe do a little bit of paraphrasing with this, as well as some visualizing and predicting information. Okay, guys, so again, the material's coming from our website at www.aehelp.com. So if you want to get our 6 practice exams, it includes, of course, 6 listening sections, then join us there. So join us on our website at www.aehelp.com. Also, don't be shy if in your country you have Super Chat. It's the little $ beside the emoji, and you like this lesson, you like learning from these IELTS classes, please sponsor us. It helps us to feed our families as well as buy equipment for the studio and build our materials for you. So don't be shy, use the Super Chat. And also, if you have a question that you really want me to answer, use the Super Chat, because if you use the Super Chat, I can see your question much more clearly, guys. So when you have an important question that you really need help with, click the Super Chat and I can see that clearly. I know some of you don't have it in your countries, and that's okay. But if you have it, try to use it. We really do appreciate it. Okay, let's look at these questions now. So this is section 3, and we have some time, of course, usually about 30 seconds to look at these questions. That's not a lot of time, so please make sure that you practice these skills at home so that you can do them quickly during the IELTS, because you only have about 30 seconds to review the questions for each section. Also, at the end of each listening part, you have time to look at your answers. Make sure that that's what you do. Look at your answers and check to make sure they're accurate. Don't look at the next section because you might lose some marks if you're not checking your answers. Okay, anyhow, let's look at these. So, question 21, match the professor with the university. Dr. Henry Guergin, Dr. Gloria Mesto, University of Edinburgh, Trinity College, Dublin. All right, not too much paraphrasing needed there. We just have to pay attention to the information. Question 22 to 24. Which 3 of the following are arguments against zoos? Okay, everybody know what a zoo is? Does everybody know what a zoo is? Shupriya, I can't see your question anymore, so just write it again if you want me to answer it. What is a zoo, guys? It's where animals are kept, right? For the viewing pleasure of the public, usually rare wild animals such as elephants, giraffes, and so forth. All right, so which are the 3 arguments given against zoos? Animals are treated inhumanely. What's another way to say animals are treated inhumanely? What's another way to say animals are treated inhumanely? Yeah, animals are treated cruelly. Animals are abused. Unethical treatment of the animals. Sure, sure. What's another way to say animals? Poor care is given to the animals. Sure, that's another way to say it. Yep. So these are the kinds. Violence is maybe not the best. Mammals is a good way. What's another way? Wild creatures, yeah, or wildlife, guys. Wildlife is another way. Okay. All right. Animals are persons. What's another way to say persons? Creatures is a good way. Okay, we're going on to B here. What's another way to say persons? Keep it simple, guys. Animals are human. Yep, or animals are people. Exactly. So you might hear that instead of persons. The conservation of species. What's another way to say C? The conservation of species. Okay, yep, I got it, guys. I know there's a little bit of lag, so let's go on to C here. What's another way to say conservation of species? Yeah, save animals. Yeah, Suman, very good. So, yep, saving the animals, protecting the species. Yeah, protecting is another way. Protecting or saving are good synonyms for conservation. Animals should not be in prison. What's another way to say animals should not be in prison? Safeguard is a good way to say it as well. Preserving is a good way. Yeah. Animals should not be in prison. Yes, very good, Nora. Excellent paraphrasing. So animals should not be caged, should not be held in captivity by Hadil, should not be locked up. Their freedom should not be ignored. So using a antonym synonym, imane, that's a good suggestion there. Okay, excellent. Good job, guys. So far, so good. I hope a lot of you are learning from seeing these synonyms for similar words. Animals shouldn't be cattle is a little bit strange, Prasanth, because cattle are animals, so it's a little bit awkward in this context. All right. And you can try paraphrasing for E and F on your own. We have to move along a little bit here. Let's look at number 25. So 25 to 27. No more than 2 words and or a number. Always be very, very careful to pay attention to the instructions, especially when it says something like 2 words and or a number. Make sure that you respect these instructions. Do not write 3 words. If you write 3 words, you will get it wrong. The, an, articles are counted as words, okay? So don't write 3 words. Make sure you do not write 3 words in the answer key. Maximum 2 words or a number, okay? And or a number. Number 25. In order to improve the conditions for zoo animals, zoos must be held blank of animal treatment. Can someone paraphrase this sentence for me? Can anybody say, in order to improve the conditions for zoo animals? So let's just go with the first part here. No coaching classes near Guergin. Supriya, nope. We will have some classes in Europe starting next month, but not in Guergin. Okay, in order to improve conditions for zoo animals. Somebody give me some paraphrasing for this. For the better treatment of zoo animals, absolutely. To make life better for zoo animals, they must be held. Very good, guys. To develop an environment, to develop a positive environment for zoo animals, Jamshid. To enhance the surroundings for zoo creatures, prosafa is a good way. Okay, improving the livelihood of wildlife kept in zoos is a nice way to say it as well, Kunz. All right, some excellent paraphrasing there, guys. Very, very good. When you're doing this at home, make sure to write these down, okay? And write down as many as you can. And you can see, of course, that if you're studying with friends or in a class, you can work together to try to paraphrase in as many ways as possible, okay? Very effective way to learn English also, by the way. Paraphrasing is extremely useful for learning languages. Okay, let's jump a little bit here. So let's jump to question number 28. Choose the correct letters, A, B, or C. According to Dr. Guergin, does the value of inspiring young people outweigh the negative aspects of zoos? Can somebody paraphrase this one for me? So according to Dr. Guergin, does the value of inspiring young people outweigh the negative aspects of zoos? Now, of course, as we mentioned, we're getting a little bit more tricky here, a little bit more difficult language. But let's paraphrase this. So give it a shot, guys. Give it a try. If you can't do the whole sentence, then just go word by word. Okay, so if you're having difficulty with paraphrasing the whole sentence, go word by word. What's another way to say inspiring? So, of course, if you don't have the skills or the time to paraphrase the full sentences when you're thinking about this during the IELTS exam, then just do it for keywords. What is another way to say value? Value is the benefit or the worth, right? Jamshid says, does the benefit of encouraging youngsters outweigh the negative of zoos? Yeah, that's pretty good. There's some good paraphrasing there. Inspiring is motivating. Very good, Anita. Yeah, and motivating young people in this case. Encouraging is another way to say it, Fatime. Very good. So those might be the words that you hear instead of the word inspiring. Young people, what's another way to say young people? Younger generation? Abhishek says younger generation. That's a good way. What are some other ways to say young people? That's a good one to paraphrase for sure. Youth. Yep, youth. Teenagers, sure. The young. Yep. Children, kids, teens, adolescents. The underage, the juveniles. Absolutely. Those are all some good paraphrasing. Okay. Aspects. Let's say, well, even before aspects, let's look at outweigh. What's another way to say outweigh? How can we say outweigh in a different way? And you don't have to just use one word. You can use multiple words. Overshadow is a good synonym. Yeah, that's high-level vocabulary. Are heavier? Yeah, it's a little bit higher than is a bit better. More than is good. Yeah, now you guys are keeping it simple. So more than is a good way. Okay, so sometimes you're actually paraphrasing to a more simple expression. All right, guys. Okay, let's keep going. That's enough for that one. I think you're all doing a great job. For multiple choice, like the last two questions, 29, 30, mostly just paraphrase the question. Don't bother with the answers, okay? So don't worry about the answers. And just look at the questions. So number 29, what is the interesting question? Maybe we can paraphrase that as what is the most important question, or what is the pressing question, concern. What do the guests agree on? All right, those we probably don't need to paraphrase too much. Great. Okay, guys, now let's actually do the listening for this. So let's listen and then answer. By the way, before we listen and answer, we looked at these questions in detail. What do you think this listening will be about? So can some of you give me your ideas of what is this listening going to be about? What do you guys think the listening is going to be about before I start the audio? The next class will be on Wednesday, Khalid. Okay, it will be about zoos and arguments against zoos. Okay, that's a little bit more specific. Paraskevi, yep. So arguments against zoos, but maybe also arguments for zoos, right? So protecting animals in zoos, yeah, the treatment of animals. So those are all parts of it. If we want to keep it simple, you can say the advantages and disadvantages of zoos. So this will likely be a debate about the advantages and disadvantages of zoos, okay? But it looks like most of you have that idea. All right. Okay, so let's listen and answer these questions.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear a panel discussion on the ethics of zoos. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Welcome everyone to this very special evening. Tonight's speakers are two distinguished scholars. Dr. Henry Guergin from the University of Edinburgh is a philosopher and animal rights advocate. Dr. Gloria Mesto from Trinity College, Dublin, is an animal conservationist. Welcome to you both. The topic of tonight's discussion is the ethics of zoos. Here is the fundamental question. Is it right to house animals in zoos, or should they live freely in nature instead?
As an animal rights advocate and theorist, I have clear views on this question. To me, it is fundamentally wrong to lock up animals for human enjoyment. I believe that in many important respects, animals are persons, and should be afforded many of the rights that human beings have. Chief among these is the right to liberty and the freedom to achieve one's desired ends in life. Clearly, these rights are abrogated by imprisonment within a zoo. Moreover, in many cases, animals in zoos are treated inhumanely and are subject to confinement in extremely small spaces. While regulation of zoos may help mitigate some of these problems, I maintain that zoos are fundamentally unethical.
I certainly understand Dr. Guergin's position, and I do agree on some of his points, most notably that zoos must be held to higher standards of animal treatment than they are currently. But my colleague fails to consider an important point in favor of zoos. The conservation of species is an incredibly important endeavor, and zoos are on the front line in the battle to save hundreds of species of animals around the world. Zoos often employ some of the leading experts in the field who are best equipped to carry out this important task. It is for this reason that I believe zoos are justified. Though they may not be perfect, I believe zoos and the experts they employ play a critical role in the conservation of species and therefore are ethically permissible.
Dr. Guergin, do you have a rebuttal to that point?
Yes, certainly. While I appreciated Dr. Mester's position as a conservationist, and I do appreciate the work she and others like her do for animal welfare around the world, I must disagree with her. While zoos certainly do play a role in animal conservation, It is not because they are zoos that they play this role.
Dr. Guergin, can you clarify that point for the audience?
Of course. What I mean is this. It is not inherent in the idea of a zoo that they conserve animals. The notions are separable. You can have an animal conservation effort that is not a zoo, just as you can have a zoo that has nothing to do with conservation. So while it is true that some zoos act as animal preserves, this does not justify the existence of zoos, since we could easily separate out these animal preserves from zoos themselves.
Fair point. But such animal preserves would still have the associated problems of poor treatment and unsuitable living conditions.
Yes, but at least it would be in an effort towards a positive end. The animals would not be captive forever, and they would not be captive merely for a human audience.
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 27 to 30.
What about the enjoyment and education that zoos provide, especially to young people? Perhaps individuals like yourselves were inspired to become animal advocates by attending a zoo when you were a child.
That is a really interesting point. I was indeed inspired by going to a zoo when I was a child. What do you think, Dr. Guergin?
It is an interesting thought. What if the positive outcomes caused by inspiring people like us to do good in the future outweighed the harms done to zoo animals? I'm not sure. I would have to think about it more, but it's certainly an interesting question.
Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. In closing, I'm not sure how much progress we've made, but is it safe to say that we can all agree that zoos, at the very least, must do their best to improve the treatment of animals and the conditions in which the animals live?
I would certainly agree with that, as I'm sure my friends would also agree.
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, so that's the end of section 3. Now let's check our answers. Let's see how you did with these questions. All right. So question number 21. So question number 21 here is 1 is A. Okay. And 21-2 is B. Now, in the IELTS, of course, you have to get both of these correct to get the answer correct. So don't write A for both or B for both. You have to get both of them right, okay? Number 22 to 24, the order doesn't matter on your answer sheet in this case, so any order is okay. A, B, and F are the 3 correct answers here. And here, each one of these is worth 1 mark. So if you get one of them correct, A, then you get 1 mark. If you get another one, then B, then you get another mark correct. And if you get F, then you get all 3 of them, and you pick up all 3 marks, okay? So A, B, F in any order is okay. All right, that was the answer for the arguments against zoos. Number 25 is higher standards. So number 25 is higher standards. 2 words. Again, when you see in the question that it says no more than 2 words, in many cases, one of the answers at least will be 2 words. So in this case, higher standards. Number 26 is preserves. Okay, so number 26 is preserves. They said this word a lot. Okay, they said the word preserves about 5 different times. So I really hope that most of you caught it. Even if you don't catch it the first time, you should have caught it the second or third time that they referred to animal preserves. And preserves is a paraphrase for animal conservation areas. Okay. All right, 27. I think a lot of you got this. Many of you were writing this up in the stream as it was said. So education, so enjoyment and education are the 2 key elements of zoos. This is an answer that you could probably guess if you're not catching it. So if you didn't catch the word education, if you look at that question carefully, what are the 2 positives of zoos, you might actually be able to guess that the second one is education. Okay, and 28 is C, 29 is B, and 30 is A. Okay, so C, B, and A were the answers for the multiple choice. How did you guys do? So how did you do on that listening? How did you do on that listening? Did anybody get all 10 of those correct? Shilpa, you got 3 wrong. That's not bad. Getting 3 wrong for part 3 is not bad. Okay. So this again is part 3. It's quite difficult. Okay, you were getting more and more difficult here. If you got 2 or 3 or 4 wrong, that's quite good. If you got more than 3 or 4 wrong, you really need to pay attention. Okay, if you need a band score 6 or higher, then you really have to focus to make sure that you don't get more than 3 or 4 wrong in part 3. So 3 or 4 wrong in part 3 or part 4 is okay. All right, good job, Hike. Good job, Jamil. 4 is not bad as long as 4 is what you got wrong. Okay, you're looking for at least 6, 7 correct if you can. Okay, 6 or 7 correct. All right, that's your target. Hey, if you got 10 out of 10, that's awesome. But let's be realistic. It's hard to get a perfect score. Even for a native speaker, it's hard to catch all the answers and get a perfect score. So, great. Tanu, that's excellent. You're telling me that you're getting 33 out of 40 on the listening. That's fantastic. If I'm not mistaken, 33 out of 40 is like a score of 7.5 or 8. So that's very good, Tanu. Okay. All right, guys, let's go to section 4. We're going to go through this a little bit faster. So section 4, let's look at the information, the questions. So questions 31 to 35, it's a flowchart type question. You can get these flowchart type questions in the listening. When you get a flowchart question in the listening, the information will be sequential. What that means is the answer for 31 will come first, answer for 32 will come second, 33 will come next. So it's really important to try to catch each one of these, because if you miss one, it becomes easy to start missing the next answers. Bohara, I am not British or Australian, I am Canadian. So my accent is maybe a little bit easier for people to understand because it's a Canadian, West Coast Canadian accent. Okay, I think the easiest accents for people around the world are usually West Coast and East Coast North American accents, like Vancouver or Toronto. I am in Victoria, guys, Victoria. Okay, Victoria, British Columbia. It's West Coast Canada. Awesome. So let's look at these questions here. The loggerhead turtle has to seek dry land to lay its eggs. The sandy beaches of something provide the perfect location for nesting. After hatching, the loggerhead turtle immediately heads for the ocean. The ocean is safer than the shore because it has fewer blank. The turtles embark on a journey that will take them kilometers around the Atlantic. Okay, guys, what do you think section 4, listening, will be about? So you're looking at these questions. What do you think it's going to be about? Can somebody tell me what this will be about? And another question, do you think it's a conversation, or do you think it will be a lecture? About this kind of turtle. Yeah, what kind of turtle, guys? What kind of turtle are we going to be talking about? And it will be a lecture. Yep, the good guess there. This definitely looks like a lecture type. And it will be talking about the turtle's life. Yeah, it's a sea turtle. That's important. Okay, so it's the loggerhead turtle. Loggerhead turtle, which is a sea turtle. It will be a lecture about the life of the loggerhead turtle. Absolutely. What do you know about the turtle, the loggerhead turtle? This is where visualizing, so seeing, imagining the information in your head and thinking about what you have learned about sea turtles becomes important. So tell me, guys, what do you know about sea turtles? Guys and girls, what do you know about the life of a sea turtle? And maybe some of you have seen nature shows or cartoons or Finding Nemo, where you've learned a little bit about the loggerhead turtle. What do you know about the loggerhead turtle, the sea turtle? They lay eggs on the beach. Svetlova, very good. They live both in water and on land. They mostly live in the sea or the ocean, Manushi, and a little bit on land. Very rarely they come out on land. I think just for mating and laying eggs, so careful about that. Yeah, Kunz, if you think about the turtle from Finding Nemo or Dory, that's good. At least you have a picture of what they look like. All right, come on, guys. I'm sure you've all learned a little bit about sea turtles. They journey. Vishal says there's a journey of the turtle. Yes, absolutely. They are shy animals. Yeah, that's true. They eat fish. Probably true as well, among many other things, crustaceans and so on. They hatch eggs in different conditions. Sure. Okay, how about the safety of these sea turtles? Are there lots and lots of sea turtles everywhere in the world? They move from hot to cold water with different currents. Absolutely. They have a long lifespan. They're very big. Buhara. Okay, now we're getting some new information. Nadia, they are very slow moving. They are slow, slow, slow. Yeah, absolutely. The baby turtles run to the ocean from the beach, but only a few of them survive, is what Svetlova says. Yes, that's excellent. Turtles are amphibian. Shilpa, absolutely. Yes. Their lifespan is very long. They are going extinct, Kunz. An excellent piece of information there. It has a shell protecting its body, right, Manushi? Okay, great. Good job, guys. So this is what you need to do. You really, really need to think about as much of this information as possible in the 30-second preparation time before the listening starts. That's because when you think of all of this information before the listening starts, it will really help you to get more of the answers correct and not have to rely purely on what you're hearing, okay? Again, IELTS does not lie, so all of the information in the listening and reading is true according to modern science. So if you know similar information, that will help you, okay? All right, let's look at some more information here. So, after hatching, the loggerhead turtle immediately heads for the ocean. The ocean is safer than the shore because it has fewer something. Let's see if we can even predict an answer here without listening, guys. So I want to see how quick and clever you are. Let's look at number 32. After hatching, the loggerhead turtle immediately heads for the ocean. The ocean is safer than the shore because it has fewer what? What do you guys think 32 is the answer? Khan says predators. Paraskevi says predators. Tool says danger or fewer dangers. We usually don't count danger. In rare cases we can, but we usually don't count danger. So if danger were the correct answer, it would be less danger. It has less danger. But fewer is used for countable nouns. So predators, as Paraskevi and Kans said, are most likely the right answer. Jamsid said that as well. So yeah, 32, if you guess predators, you're most likely going to get that correct. All right, the turtles embark on a journey that will take them something kilometers around the Atlantic. What do you guys think 33 is? If you had to guess 33, enemies might be a good answer. Guys, enemies could be a good answer for sure. What do you guys think 33 is? The turtles embark on a journey that will take them something kilometers around the Atlantic. Yeah, it's probably a number. Kunz says thousands of. Yeah, thousands of makes sense. Why? Because going around the Atlantic Ocean is thousands of kilometers. So most likely the answer is going to be something like thousands of. What I'm trying to show everyone here is that in the IELTS, you can actually get about half of the answers in the listening section and even a lot of the answers in the reading section without actually hearing the information or reading the information. So you can not just guess Manushi, but you can infer the information. Anybody know what the meaning of infer is? Anybody know what the meaning of infer is? So it is often possible to infer the answers to listening and to reading from the grammar and context of the questions. Infer means to predict as well, yeah. It means to predict based on the circumstances. Okay, so predicting based on the circumstances. It's an educated guess. A lot of teachers will say that an inference is an educated guess. So make sure that you're practicing inferring, making educated guesses while you're practicing this at home. Okay. All right. So let's get back to the listening here. All right, let's look at the remaining 6 questions. So, while long migratory journeys are fairly commonplace in nature, what makes the loggerhead's journey especially notable is the extremely pace it travels. You can probably guess that one as well if you really try. The entire journey is equal to approximately of continuous swimming with no breaks. That one I don't think you'll be able to guess. You'll have to hear it. And then 36 to 40, it's a paragraph completion question. So 36 to 39, sorry. As incredible as the loggerhead's turtle's journey is, what makes it even more impressive is that the loggerhead is a something traveler. By the way, when you see your... my mic seems to be good on my end, DJ Sasa. The stream seems healthy, so maybe check the internet on your end. If anybody else is having trouble with the sound, do let me know. But the internet's showing me that it's good on my side. So paragraph completion questions are really, really important to skim read quickly before the listening starts, because it's a paraphrase of what you're going to hear. So you really need to read it because it will help you to understand the listening. So as incredible as the loggerhead turtle's journey is, what makes it even more impressive is that the loggerhead is a something traveler, traversing the open ocean on its own for years at a time. Scientific research has, in recent years, told us that it is through a connection with the Earth's something that the turtle finds their way around the ocean. For example, the turtles are able to sense something off the coast of something that makes them change their direction and head for northwest Africa. Possessing more than a simple compass, the loggerhead can innately sense its something and longitude. You can probably guess what 39 is if you know the other word for beside longitude. Okay, question 40. It's choosing the correct answer, multiple choice. Approximately what percentage of hatchlings make it back to the breeding ground in Florida? Okay, and you might be able to guess this one as well if you're using some good critical thinking. All right, guys, so loggerhead turtle, it's a lecture. Let's listen to it now.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
Careful with the spelling, Manushi.
Listening section 4. You will hear a professor discussing the migration of loggerhead turtles. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
It's late April on the South Atlantic coast of North America, and one of the most remarkable journeys in all of nature is about to begin. The loggerhead turtle, whose natural habitat is the open ocean, has to seek dry land to lay its eggs. The sandy beaches of Florida provide a perfect nesting spot, with soft sand that can be dug up by the persistent flippers of the female loggerhead. Over the course of the next 3 months, hundreds of thousands of eggs will be laid on such beaches. Many of these eggs will become the victim of predators, but many will survive to hatching, which occurs 2 months after being laid. Hatching marks the beginning of an incredible journey for the loggerhead turtle. Almost immediately upon hatching, the young turtles, known as hatchlings at this point, head for the open ocean. The ocean, while full of its own dangers and predators, provides a relative safe haven for the hatchlings away from many of the predators that live near the shoreline. These young turtles embark upon a journey that will take them upwards of 13,000 kilometers around the North Atlantic. Many animals make large and incredible journeys, but what makes the loggerhead turtle's migration so notable is the speed at which the animal moves. While many bird species make similar journeys, they move at velocities much faster than the loggerhead turtle. This slow-moving beast travels at the remarkably sluggish pace of only 3/4 of a kilometer per hour. This means it will take the turtle a minimum of 17,000 hours to complete its migratory journey, not even taking into account stops for feeding and sleep. To put that number in perspective, 17,000 hours is approximately 2 years of non-stop swimming. That the loggerhead turtle makes this journey alone makes it all the more impressive. From birth to adolescence to adulthood, the loggerhead turtle is a solitary traveller. But how does it know where to go? Doesn't it need a parent to help it know the route? This is where the loggerhead becomes even more fascinating. Recent research tells us the loggerhead uses the magnetic field of the Earth to determine its migration route. Because the Earth's magnetic field differs in each location around the world, the loggerhead turtle can use it as a kind of innate roadmap, illuminating the way to where they need to be. One example of this is the behaviour they exhibit when they encounter the particular magnetic field off the coast of Portugal. Instead of continuing north towards the cold waters of northern Europe, they sense the magnetic field and turn around, instead heading for the warmer waters of northwestern Africa. And it is not just that the loggerhead turtle has a sort of innate compass. They are able to determine, with surprising precision, their latitude and longitude. They know exactly when to zig and zag to optimize their migratory pattern. Even with their incredible ability to know where they are and where they need to be, the survival rate of migratory loggerhead turtles is incredibly low. In fact, only about 1 in 4,000 hatchlings makes it back to the beach in eastern Florida to mate and lay its eggs. However, that any make it at all is an incredible achievement and one of the great natural wonders of navigation.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, girls and guys. So that was the lecture about loggerhead turtles. Let's go back and discuss the answers. So number 31. What's the correct answer, guys? Number 31. Okay, Parskevi has all of them up there. Guys, be very careful with your capitalizations. Number 31 is Florida. Make sure that the F is a big F. If the F is not a big F in your answer sheet, you will get it wrong. Okay? So again, I can't emphasize this enough. Florida has to be with a big F. If it's not a big F in your answer sheet, you will get it wrong, okay? You can write all capital letters. So, Hatan, that answer would be incorrect because you have a small f, okay? So be very careful, guys. All right, the F has to be big. Okay, the ocean is safer than the shore because it has fewer, 32. What's the answer? We talked about this. Predators. Yeah, predators. That's right. Predators is a noun. It's a small p, so just simply predators. Make sure the spelling is correct. Tu'ul, that is a correct answer. You can write it with all big letters. Okay? I can't do much about the echo, guys. I'm using a very high-end professional mic right now, so the echo is probably because of the stream. If you're getting a lot of echo, it will be the stream that's causing that echo. There's not much I can do. All right, fewer predators, small p, simple noun. Now, the turtles embark on a journey that will take them how long? So how many kilometers around the Atlantic? Keep it simple, guys. 13,000. 13,000. It cannot be 30,000. Why not 30,000? Why is it not 30,000? It has to be 13. It has to be 13,000 kilometers. Okay? So 13000 is the correct answer. 13,000. The world, how big is the world around? The circumference of the world. Anybody know how big the world is around on the circumference, on the equator? I'm not sure why I'm echoing, guys. I shouldn't be echoing. It could be something to do with YouTube. My mic system is good. Yeah, so the world around is 40,000. So just going around the Atlantic would be weird to say 30,000. Okay. I'll check the battery, but I don't think that's going to be causing an echo, guys. So 13,000. Okay, 13,000. Got it. 33. Let's keep going here. So while long migratory journeys are fairly commonplace in nature, what makes the loggerhead's journey especially notable is that it is extremely something pace it travels at. So 34, did anybody catch the correct answer for 34? Very good, guys. Sluggish. Sluggish is the correct answer. S-L-U-G-G-I-S-H. However, if you write slow, you will get it correct. Okay? Slow and sluggish are perfect synonyms, so it will be correct. All right, so 34 is sluggish or slow. All right, let's look at number 35. The entire journey is equal to approximately something of continuous swimming with no breaks. What is number 35? Yeah, it's 2 years, guys. The number 2 and the word years, like Shilpa. So if you guys are looking at Shilpa or Jamshid's answer, those are correct answers. Use the number 2 and the word years with a space between, okay? Tanu, don't write 17,000 kilometers, okay? Do not write 17,000 kilometers in your answer because you will get it wrong if you write that as well. Okay. Vishal, write the number 13,000. Okay, so don't make mistakes, guys. When you have the correct answer, don't lose it by writing something strange into the answer sheet. Okay, so make sure that if you have a correct answer, get it correct. Okay, 2 years is correct. The number 2 and the word years, like Tanu said. Okay. All right, let's look at 36 to 39. So as incredible as the loggerhead turtle's journey is, what makes it even more impressive is that the loggerhead is a something traveler. Did somebody catch number 36? What number 36 is? Nope, it's not fascinating. Saud? Great, correct answer. Tanu? Wrong answer because you wrote a big S. Shilpa, correct answer. Okay. Guys, you can write all capital letters for your answer, so you can write it all big like Tuul just showed for the next one. Or you have to write it accurately. In this case, it's just a simple noun, adjective in this case, and it's solitary. Does everybody know what solitary means? Everybody know what the word solitary actually means? What is the meaning of solitary? Independent. Yeah, alone, lonely, by oneself. It means that you do it alone, not in a group, but alone, independently. Okay? That is the meaning of solitary, is to be alone, to be by oneself. All right? So the loggerhead turtle, amazingly, is a solitary traveler. It travels alone. So it's not like in Finding Nemo where you see them traveling in groups, but they're actually doing that alone. So a little bit of misinformation there in the Finding Nemo cartoon, if they're loggerhead turtles anyway. Okay, let's look at the next one. Scientific research has in recent years told us that it is through a connection with the Earth's something that the turtles find their way around the ocean. So 37, what is the correct answer? Raya, nice one. Magnetic field. You need both words. Both words need to be spelled correctly. Sana, you will get your answer wrong because you used a big M for magnetic. It's a small m for magnetic field. If you guys are not sure about what is big and what is a small letter, then just write all big letters, okay? Just make sure you practice it at home, okay? So if you're not sure about when to write capital and when to write lowercase letters, then just use all uppercase letters for your answers. It's okay to do that on IELTS, all right? All right, so magnetic field is correct. Good job, guys. And the spelling is good for most of you, I can see. All right. Capital and small letters do matter on IELTS if you're using small letters. But if you're using all capital letters, then it's okay to do that. All right. So I know that's confusing for a lot of students. Okay, let's look at 38. For example, the turtles are able to sense something off the coast of that makes them change their direction and head for Northwest Africa. So number 38 is, very good, Raya, Portugal with a big P because it's the name of a country. Tanu, you get it wrong because it's a small p in your answer. Portugal has to be a big P. Countries are proper nouns in the English language, and they are always capitalized. Paraskevi, Northern Europe, will not get a correct answer here. It has to be Portugal because it's off the coast of Portugal, not off the coast of Northern Europe. It's off the coast of Portugal. Okay. So Portugal is the correct answer. Has to be a big P, or write all of them with capital letters. All right, and the last one for the paragraph completion. Possessing more than a simple compass, the loggerhead can innately sense its something and longitude. Longitude, and what's the other one? Not altitude, Alan. It's latitude. Saud, very good. Latitude, spelt correctly. All lowercase, it's a simple noun, so latitude is the correct answer. Manushi, if you write a big L in the answer key like you did there, you will get it wrong. If you guys look at Syed Zahira's answer, that is correct. You can write all big letters, okay? So that is good. You can write all big letters for latitude. Latitude and longitude. Does everybody know what latitude and longitude mean? What these two words mean? Latitude, longitude? Does everybody know what these words mean? It's good academic vocabulary for you. These are the lines that separate the Earth horizontally and vertically on a map. Yeah, exactly, Hadil. These are the vertical and horizontal lines, respectively, that we use on maps to identify locations, right? So these are used for coordinates on maps. This is how we know where we are at a certain time on the surface of the planet. All right, question number 40. Approximately what percentage of hatchlings make it back to the breeding ground in Florida? So last question for this listening. The answer for this one is, great job, Raya. I think you got a very good score on this one. Yes, it is A. Kunz gave us the information from the listening. They say 1 in about 4,000 hatchlings make it back to Florida to breed. So only 1 in 4,000. So here you have to do a little bit of quick math, and you can figure out that 1 in 4,000 means 0.025% of hatchlings make it back to the beaches of Florida. That is so sad. Just imagine how treacherous and difficult this journey is for these poor loggerhead turtles. I definitely hope that I do not come back as a loggerhead turtle in my next life, because it does not seem like a very promising long-lived life. Mind you, the turtles that do live to adulthood get to live a long time, so maybe that's the benefit, but it's sad that not too many of them make it there. Okay, so excellent, guys. Great job. Here I'm going to just quickly run you through the answers one more time so you can see them. Print it out here. Number 31, Florida, as you can see it there. Number 32, predators. Number 33, 13,000. If you have a comma, that's great. If you don't have the comma for 13,000, that's okay as well. Just make sure that you don't use a period. Slow or sluggish, both are accepted for the answer. 2 years, solitary, magnetic field, Portugal, latitude, and A. All right, guys, I hope you all did a good job with this. Again, remember that you need to practice this at home and use the transcripts in the back of the book to help you with your studies. Does everybody know what transcripts are for listening? I'll even make a note of this for you. So okay, so use the transcripts to help you study for the listening section of the IELTS, especially if you're having trouble with it. Shilpa, 34 out of 40. You should not be angry with that. That is a great score. I think that's a 7.5 or an 8 off the top of my head. So yes, the transcripts are the script, so the written conversation or lecture audio. It can be very useful for studying for the listening section. On our website, we include that. So this is our website here, and you have the books here that we were looking at for these listening questions and answers. So you can download our books. Our books contain the transcripts also, and they actually show you where the answers are coming from. They're highlighted. So I can actually show you that here. So this is what a transcript looks like. Actually, I'll show it for you for the one that we just looked at. So here, oh, let's see. Let's see, where are these transcripts? They're here somewhere, guys. Sorry, I'm just having a little bit of trouble figuring out where the transcripts are for you here, but I think I'm getting there. Okay, that was okay. This is our transcripts for the reading section, and this is the transcripts for the listening section. Anyway, you can see here that the transcripts are included in our book, and also the answers are highlighted, so you can see where the answers are coming from. They're in bold here. This is for a different listening, but it shows you basically that for question 34 for this listening, this is where the answer is coming from. So again, make sure that you use those transcripts, okay? All right, guys, thank you for joining today's class. It was really a pleasure again to teach all of you. Again, do remember, go to our website. It is www.aehelp.com. As you can see up at the top here, I've given you the URL, and we have lots of lesson videos there for you. We have 6 full practice exams. There's live speaking practice. You can send me an email if you want to practice speaking live or for speaking classes, to book speaking classes with me. You can email me at my name, Adrian, at aehelp.com. So we can book Skype lessons for speaking interviews there. Again, if you're joining our website today, you can use the coupon code LIVE20. You'll get a 20% discount. So just enter that into the coupon code field. Again, thank you for watching. Study hard, guys. This video will be available on the channel in about an hour, so you can watch it again. If anybody has questions, you can ask me. The next class will be on Wednesday the 21st. So Wednesday the 21st. Next class, 21st, and it will be let's see, it will be 7 a.m. New York time, or sorry, actually 1 p.m. New York time. So 1 p.m. New York time. So just check what that time is in your local time, okay? That will be next time. We'll talk a little bit about speaking next class, and we'll also do some reading. Again, guys, if you want to contact me about speaking help, send an email to adrian@aehelp.com. Just let me know you're looking for speaking help, and I'll tell you what we can do. Again, go to our website, aehelp.com, to get our courses. We can always help students there, and keep up the good fight. Study hard, study lots, learn 3 to 5 new words every day before you sit your IELTS exam, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a great night and have a great day. All right, bye everyone for now. Thank you so much.